What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Game On Improve Your Health podcast. Tonight's podcast episode journey is being guided by none other than your host, Austin J, or hallucinodream, if you know him from the gaming community, and his lovely wife, Christina, or the Warden, if you know her from the gaming community in the future. And tonight's episode is a follow-up question and answer to last week's episode, which was on overcoming obstacles. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy this episode. Awesome.
Great.
This is a follow-up and question and answer to overcoming popsicles, as you heard. And thank you for tuning in and listening, those who are doing so on Twitch and YouTube, and those listening on the podcast platform. So, you know the deal. Unless you're new, then you don't. We answer the questions first that came in over the week, and then we add on to anything that we may have missed or wanted to add to last week's episode. So, we're just going to jump right in. The one and only question that we got, for those who are listening, if you have any questions, please start submitting them so we can answer more.
I thought we had 2 questions.
So we can answer more. Do we?
I thought we did have 2 questions. Why don't you take a minute and look them up?
Perfect. We have 2 questions. Sorry. We have 2 questions. We're in a mobile stream setup here. I apologize for the poor quality. So we only have one monitor where our questions are located on, only one of them. And as you can see, I can point and click with my eyes. That's why I'm squinting and stuff. And, well, if you're listening on the podcast platform, you can't see that. But just pretend that I am and can't. And I'm still in my yogurt bowl.
He just looked it up. He found it.
Perfect. Anyway, so we have 2 questions. So we're just going to jump right in. Again, awesome. First question is, I was pushed to remote work and since the pandemic, and now my routine is out of whack. Before, I used to go to the gym after work, and now I feel more tired during the day and less motivated because I am at home, and my routine is now, different. What would you recommend I do to, help with this problem? Take it away.
All right. Well, I personally think that's something that you can relate very well to because your routine greatly changed during the pandemic. But what I would say is, obviously keeping a routine and whenever that gets like derailed, it's so easy to fall into that like pattern of not being motivated, and then once you get too far along, it's really easy to feel like that. So one, I think it's understanding that it's okay and it's normal to have felt like that.
Too far along can also, sorry to cut you off, but too far along can literally be a couple of days as well.
Yeah.
I would say a couple of days is enough to derail me almost completely.
Yeah. Well, and so I think that for me, it's always been like the most beneficial to recognize that it happens and to not beat myself up about it and to just try better the next day. And so to just, so like what I would suggest, and so I actually, something that I had to change about my routine is I ended up having somewhat complications at closer to the end of my pregnancy with our daughter, and so I ended up I was kind of forced to work from home. And so I felt the same way in that it totally changed my routine. I was used to like getting up, either, we would go to the gym in the morning before we went to work, or we would always go for like a walk after work, or, go to the gym or do something and stay active. But for me, I had to totally change that, and then I just like rolled out of bed and I was working and and then I would be there's more access to food than there normally is at work because I pack what I pack, and then I don't normally eat out if I've already packed something. So there's a lot of things that I think working from home can spiral into. So what really helped me maintain my motivation was taking short little breaks throughout the day to do some sort of physical activity. So like personally, my back like really bothers me if I sit down too long. So I took breaks where I would be walking around. Maybe I would do squats or like a set of lunges, or I would run up and down my stairs. I used resistance bands. So I tried to do these almost like micro workouts throughout the day. And that helped me, one, get a workout in. And then it also helped me not feel so tired throughout the day.
Yeah,
So that would be my, sorry, not to, I know I stopped, so then you
You
start,
totally, you gave me the signal to start talking.
I know. But so one of the things to break you out of that would be my suggestion, is once you start feeling less fatigued, you will start to see that you're more motivated, or at least most people do. And so my biggest advice would be start doing small workouts throughout the day, and I think you'll notice a difference.
Permission to speak, Warden.
Yes.
Thank you.
Permission granted. Wait a minute. I'm just kidding.
I agree. And we've talked about that in several different episodes already. If you have been listening to us since the beginning of time, or haven't, you can definitely go back and listen to those. But splitting up, especially, I mean, it's very important for people who are working at home now, because sitting down for long periods of time is detrimental to your health posture and everything else that goes along with it. Another thing is, I would say, to add on to your point, is going into work is, and this is studied, the just the community, right? Your work community, being able to associate with people, talk to people, see people, that is already a cognitive boost and a mood boost. And now you're taking that out of the equation because of the pandemic, and it's changing things. So now you have to find other ways to, make up for that boost in mood, really, and which goes hand in hand with the cognitive ability and everything else. But cutting up your workouts during the day would be very beneficial by, just like Christina said, work a couple hours, and any chance that you get, I mean, it could be 2 times a day, it could be 10 times a day that you split up. Try to do a little workout, just, set a routine for yourself. It could just be, hey, on Mondays, I'm just going to do squats. I'm going to do squats anytime I go to the bathroom. I'm just on my way, after I exit the bathroom, I'm going to do 5 air squats, and then I'm going to get back. You'd be surprised how many squats you'll probably do throughout the day and how beneficial that will be. You'll start feeling good. It will boost your energy because it'll wake up your muscles and everything. And just, it'll help you try to get out of that motivation, because now you are setting up good habits, really, is what that is. I was going to say something. I just lost my train of thought. It was something I was going to add on to that. It was going to be glorious.
And then another... Are you done? Can I go?
Well, I don't know what I was going to say, so yeah.
Okay.
My train's gone.
And then to, I guess, take another side to that is, I think once you start that, you will start to feel your energy boost, and then your motivation, will be soon to follow. But like, I know personally, after being at home, like all day, like I just wanted to get out of the house. And so now that gyms are opening up, it could be just a nice excuse to get out of the house. And I know that it's hard to start back at the gym. The hardest part is getting yourself there. But you could maybe make plans with a friend. So I bet there are coworkers that are also in the same boat. So try to connect maybe with somebody from work. Even just do like a 2-for-1. Like maybe go to the gym first and then go out to dinner with them afterwards or something, just to, one, that will also help just your overall mood, because you'll be getting out, you'll be talking to somebody, and then it also makes you make a commitment. So like something I had to do to get me back in a routine when I started going to the gym was like I like would go to classes at the gym, and so it's like I had to reserve a spot. So like I reserved my spot, and then like to me, sure, could I not have shown up? Yeah, but like I made the effort to make the reservation. So that was my motivating factor. Like, well, I have to go. I have to do it. So you could try a gym with classes, or try to link up with a friend or a coworker, and then like almost reward yourself after for a little bit, just to kind of get yourself back in the habit.
You're going with having a partner in crime is definitely one of the best things you can do for health and wellness. Even if you're trying to do stuff from home, and trying to change habits. I mean, you could have a friend where you can just be on a texting basis with. You can just say, hey, even if you're trying to kick a sugar addiction, right? Mm-hmm. Just text and say, oh man, I really want some cake right this second. And that person being your partner and your person who...
Your accountability
your accountability buddy
is going to say, well, let's go get cake.
They're going to say, we should probably go get cake, but you're going to watch me eat it. And that's no, they're going to wean you off doing that, right? Mm-hmm. So even that was the ball, by the way. Partner is definitely a good bet. And yeah, most gyms do have classes. Mm-hmm. Just make sure you don't sign up for a class just to sign up for a class, because then you will be more likely to stop, because you'll be like, I don't really even like this class. I don't know why I signed up.
Yeah.
Sign up for classes that you like, okay, yeah. And that you are interested in doing.
Yeah.
Not just that you're willing to do and that you need to do, that you want to do. You want to do this class, and that'll really, really make you give you the motivation to go there when you sign up for a class.
Yeah.
I think those are pretty good tips for, any funk. I will say go outside. That's another huge thing. If you are not going outside and getting sunlight, and I know the winter months are coming up, being as the fall is coming, Pumpkin Spice is released, by the way, if you didn't know that. Go out and get it right now. I don't know what time it is where you're listening to, but Starbucks, hey, what's up? It's probably still open. Mm-hmm. Go get it. I don't condone that kind of action, by the way. Don't drink caffeine late.
Yeah, get decaf pumpkin spice.
Get decaf. Just get the pumpkin spice powder and just chew on it. I did do that. No, I didn't. Now I lost my train of thought.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I think we gave some solid tips. Go outside.
Go outside.
Get some sunlight.
That's right. Go outside.
Get some fresh air.
Going outside is... Oh, this is what I wanted to say. A lot of this stems just from your mental state. Mm-hmm. So before I even got into physical fitness, I was unable to hold a routine because my mindset was so poor. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't find the benefits in it. I wasn't happy. So I don't know what that noise is. I don't know if you can hear it, but sorry for that. I think it's thunder. So I apologize.
Maybe.
But I just couldn't find the motivation because my mindset and my mood was so bad all the time. And a lot of it is about the mood. So try to find things that will boost your mood to be able to boost motivation, to be able to boost your want to go back to your physical activities, right? So that's another thing. And going outside, that's why I said that. Going outside will very much help that. Even if it is the winter seasons. Going outside, mm-hmm. Again, the cold air is incredibly beneficial. We will talk about that in the winter. Mm-hmm. But just go outside, get some fresh air, even if just for a couple minutes. Do it the first thing when you wake up for 10 minutes a day before you even go into work, which might be at your house, like we've been talking about. Mm-hmm. And you will feel the benefits just from going outside.
Yep. Even if it's, if your routine is like getting up and getting a cup of coffee, get up, get a cup of coffee, and maybe just try to sit outside. Or if you don't have a place to maybe sit outside, just open up a door, a window, walk outside for a few minutes. Just try to get outside, definitely.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Did we have another question?
We do have another question, remember?
Yeah.
Are you going to ask it?
No, you're going to ask it.
Okay, the other question... I don't know what the other question is. I'm not going to lie.
You just said it right before we started.
I know. Well, this is what happens when you don't write things down. This is an obstacle. Write things down if you can't remember anything. Which generally I can, but I can't today. Well, the question came in. I apologize for who asked it, and I didn't write it down, and I apologize. So I don't have it.
Okay.
Oh, I remember the question. Okay, let's backtrack for a second. Pretend like you didn't hear any of that. I do apologize, though. I do remember. This is why I don't write things down, because I can remember everything. Yeah, that's right. Remember, I said that I can remember everything. The question is.
Question number two.
Question number 2. Here we go. Let's get into it. Now that we've done that little comedy segment we had there.
Skit we planned.
Yeah. Ha! Gotcha.
Hurry up before you forget again.
No, oh no. I'm just kidding. The question is, if I have a couple different obstacles, let's say nutrition. Well, I added words, by the way. If I have a couple different obstacles, nutrition, fitness, and possibly kicking sugar or soda, right? Do you guys have different outlooks or routines that you do to change those habits and get over those obstacles? Or is it all generally the same thing, the same principles that you apply to every obstacle? That was question number 2, by the way. And I remembered it. I was just playing this whole time. And Christina's going to take this one off.
Okay.
Because she's been bullying me all night.
Honestly, I mean, I think that the core principles are going to be the same. I don't think that the same steps aren't going to apply. Like, so if, I'm trying to, change my nutrition habits, like walking outside or doing mini workouts throughout the day, like that's not gonna help me with my nutrition goals. But I think the same principles of figuring out what is going to make you feel good and how to get back on a feeling good track is going to be the same. Does that make sense?
Sort of. I mean, it doesn't answer the question, but that is good insight on different situations. Yeah, so I do agree that going to do some workouts, I agree somewhat. If you do go outside, it could inspire you to maybe make better nutritional choices. But if you do workouts, it could, let's say I'm hungry, and this happens to me a lot because I am in the house all day and I hang out in the kitchen all day because I like to feed my daughter. She's very hungry all the time. She's growing. We call her the little giant, starting right now. And we're in the kitchen all the time, so I want to eat all day too. And I know I shouldn't be doing that because I'm not actually hungry. I'm just in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. So what I'll do is, get her a little bowl or plate with whatever she has. She generally spills it when she walks, but it's funny, so I'll let it happen. And
you just yelled at me for doing that the other day.
I'm joking. I don't let her do that. I hold it while she's walking so it stays up straight, so she learns that it needs to stay straight. And now she does it.
She'll be fine.
Yeah. Anyways, moral of the story is I don't let her eat food off the ground that often. But I will, when I'm starting to, especially if I just ate, right? I will say to her, and she doesn't really understand what I'm saying, but I'll say, hey, you know what? Let's go down and work out. Because there's some resistance bands down there, some weights and stuff. And we'll go down there, even if I don't fully feel like working out or I don't feel like, and I go down and work out several times throughout the day with her because I can't do it in one sitting because she is,
reckless.
she's a baby, right? She wants to do everything and she throws these golf balls everywhere and I almost trip on them and slip and break my back. And that's not the point anyways, but I'll go down there to distract myself from, eating when I really don't need to do it. So, I do think that can go hand in hand. I mean, I think that question is so loaded, it's all situational. Mm-hmm. I generally apply the same principles to, I just blew a bubble. I apply the same principles, I would say, to, overcoming obstacles. And I will obviously change So like trying to kick the sugar habit isn't the same as trying to get myself to go back to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But I will focus on the main problem the main goal and the main problem that I know I have, which is all mental, right? And what I need to do is just do it. And that's a very vague starting point, but generally, I mean, it's just hard to put into perspective.
Just do it.
It's hard to put into perspective. Situation. I mean, what we would do in situations when it's just so everybody's just so individualized, right?
Yeah.
So.
I think though, you just have to keep going back to what your goal is, and so that will help propel me through. My motivation is just really bringing it back to what your goals are. You could write them down. You could put them on a whiteboard, post-it note. I don't really condone post-it notes, but, you can put it in a journal. You can put it on a calendar. Just something to, constantly remind yourself of what your goals are.
Post-it notes are good. You can stick them anywhere. Also, permanent marker right on your mirror in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah,
Then
permanent
never
marker.
Forget.
Yeah.
You can erase permanent marker, by the way. It's not permanent. It's just a joke name.
But yeah, so remembering what your goals are is always helpful. Just to, start with the end in mind. So, I want to be able to run a marathon, or I want to be able to run a half marathon or a Spartan race. Then you kind of backtrack, if I want to do this on this date, I have to do all of these things before I get to that point. So remembering what your goal is. So same thing for nutrition. So maybe if it's, I really want to cut out sugar. So that's the end goal. But are you gonna, realistically be able to cut out all sugar today? No. So then what small steps can you do to help propel you to your end goal? So maybe it's cutting out your morning coffee sugar and starting, slowly easing that. That's something that we did with you. You used to put so much sugar. It was like creamer or something in your coffee.
That's probably why I have such a problem with sugar now.
Yeah.
Because I cut so much sugar out. I was devouring pounds of sugar a day.
Yeah.
And now sugar really, really just destroys me.
Yeah.
It is awful.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, you used to drink so much sugar in your coffee. Yeah. Oh God.
I got that from my mother, by the way.
It's I'm sure it's true. I mean, you're around things.
She put a lot of creamer in there. I was introduced to creamer through her, obviously, right? Who else was going to teach me about creamer? I'm not even sure if my dad drank coffee. I don't know. He used to get up 70 hours before I did. So, but yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. And I think, so again, one of our goals is to really instill these good foundational habits and building blocks into our daughter's life. And so it's going to be the food that we eat, the food that we introduce to her, how we normalize food and sweets and treats, and then just, what our experience and what her experience around just overall fitness and health and wellness is going to be. It really starts with us, and so that always, I think, is so you have to find what your core goal is. And are there physical attributes or physical goals, like I had mentioned in the first episode? It's there's probably some physical aspect to it, but more importantly, you have to find a fundamental goal that's not physical. It has to be more of an emotional goal that will continue to propel you far beyond the physical point.
Yeah, so one of my goals, and this is where a lot of my obstacles and the principles I use from obstacles is, one of my goals is to, be an elite Spartan racer and continue to compete in the elite heat, right? Because I have to qualify. But that is a goal which I think is still a stepping stone to my ultimate goal, which is overall health and longevity. And I want my cognitive function, which I'm not portraying a very good, whatever the word is I want to even say right now. See, there's another example. I'm not showing off that my journey to cognitive function,
it's on the right track.
It's on the right track right this second. But that is one of my ultimate goals, is to have, and this is where a lot of this started, was I was so interested in having better cognitive function, being able to recall and, not lose my tongue, which I'm doing over and over right now. But, I just lost my train of thought again. Well, I'm noticing that this recording device we're on right now isn't charging, just like everything else I've been trying to plug. Oh, I unplugged it. Oh, why did I do that?
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, what else did I want to say? Something with you. Oh yeah, one thing that does change for us, well, for me personally, it varies from aspect to aspect. Is generally nutrition-wise is getting the people in your house, if you live with friends, family, roommates, whatever, try to get them on the same track. So if I'm trying to cut out sugar or I'm trying to stop drinking soda, and my roommate or my parents or my significant other drinks soda and keeps bringing it in the house and brings in 2 liters, it's going to spark my interest to drink it. Mm-hmm. Try to get them, and this is what I keep telling everybody that we live with, my wife, get that sugar out of here, because when I see it, it's like then I crave it, and I can let go for a long time, but your willpower only lasts so long, and then you're eventually going to give in, which is fine. That's fine to do. But if we make 6,000 cookies and people only eat 2 of them, I'm eating, do the math, over 9,000 cookies. Yeah. So that's a lot of cookies.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I do. I try to do is, let's not, and I think we said this in another thing, another episode too, is if you are craving something, just go buy a single portion of it.
Yes.
Go buy a single portion of it.
Yeah, so.
We don't do that. We need to do that. You guys are our accountability buddies now. We need to start doing that. Check in on us, ask us questions, say, hey, are you buying sugar? I know you could do it, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
See?
He doesn't have the same, so, I could have, a tiny little sliver of something that will satisfy me, and then, I won't need to touch it again. But, he will, sit there late at night thinking about, oh, my God, there's still cake left. I must eat the cake until it's gone.
But if it's only 1 serving and I eat that, then I'm like,
I have to go all the way back to the store.
I would say I wish I had more, but I don't, and there's no way I'm driving anywhere to get cake ever for any reason. I'm only eating if it's delivered to me. So.
All right. Well, in order to not have us ramble, I think we should cut it this episode.
I would say, considering our recording device has just dimmed its lights and said, warning, I'm running out of juice, I think we should.
Perfect.
With that, I appreciate everybody, I appreciate the questions coming in. I appreciate everybody listening on Twitch and YouTube.
I'm getting my hands ready. That's
right. For those listening on the podcast platform, all of the links are in the description. If you have any further questions, by all means, let us know on our social media or the website. If you're watching live on Twitch and YouTube, it is over on the left. The warden was just pointing correctly, finally, at those. And again, we will be back. Let's see. I looked up the date. I promise. We will be back next week. September 1st at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube with another episode. Thanks again for listening and tuning in, and see you guys hopefully next week.
Bye.